Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be making 5 pairs of earrings today, mostly with beads from the Jesse James bead boxes. I'm not sure which bead boxes these came from. There's probably some from all of the last 3 boxes that I've gotten. I think, except I'm not sure if these pink beads, I think they might be from somewhere else. I don't think they're from Jesse James. And then I have some stuff from my stash in here, just some bead caps, and of course all the ear wires are from my stash, but mostly the beads are all from Jesse James beads. I've got some of my German style wire here, mostly gold because most of these are gold, but I've got one silver, and I use the Bead 22 gauge German style wire. I have it in silver and gold there. I've got my chain nose pliers, my round nose pliers. I got the round nose pliers from BB Craft many years ago. I've got both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers. These are I got from BB Craft many years ago, and these are called Glitter Line. I've got my tweezer nose pliers. They're Xuron, and I've got my Bead crimping pliers. I'm not going to be doing crimping today, but I use the part at the end there, the little circular part, to tuck in the burrs that are left when I cut off the wire. I've got my cutters, they're Xuron. I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. I think that's everything. I've got one of each one of these already made, and I'm going to make the other one on camera with you all. So I'll get all this out of the way and get one of them together here, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to start off with my little bluebird here. I'm pretty sure he came from the Songs of Spring box. I think that was the box before this last one. And then I have a rondelle here that I think came from some chain reaction. And I've got a little piece of chain reaction here, just one little link. And I've got a couple of bead caps from my stash and a couple of 4mm jump rings in my ear wire. And my 22 gauge German style wire. This is about a 4-inch piece of wire. So I'm going to go down about 1.5 inches. Bend the wire over the pliers. Take my round nose pliers and put the round nose pliers in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the shorter piece of wire up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Like that. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. I usually do this first part with my fingers. I'm just going to wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. Now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. I'm going to put on my bead cap, my rondelle, my other bead cap. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers because I don't want a very long neck. Bend the wire over the pliers at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Hold on tight and take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers, bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, hold on really tight. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Get that first wrap good and tight. And just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off the extra wire. Take my crimping pliers. Well, it's not my crimping pliers, it's my round nose pliers. I take my crimping pliers and squish in the little burr that's left where I cut off the wire. And I always wait till I get both sides of my loops made before I do this. I know a lot of people do it when they make that first loop, but it's easier for me to have have that bead to brace against. If I try to do it without the bead on there, I end up mangling the wire and the loops and everything else. So now I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring. I'm going to put my little bird on here. And my little link of my chain reaction. Close up my jump ring. Sure to get it closed up really well. Take my other 4mm jump ring. Open it up. Thread on my little other side of my chain reaction. He doesn't want to go on there. Need to open it up a little more maybe. There we go. Now I'm going to thread on my little link I made here. Close my jump ring back up. Sure to get it closed up well. And I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up. Thread on my earring. Make sure I've got it on there right, because it's not double-sided. There's my little earring. And here's the one I already had made. So now I'm going to get my second pair together. I'll be back. Okay, I'm not sure which boxes these came from. They were from the Jesse James boxes, but I'm not sure which one. I've got this sort of flat crystal here, round, and then I got this sort of disco ball looking crystal. It's flat on the top and the bottom. And then I've got a couple of bead caps from my stash and a ball head pin and a piece of my German style wire and my ear wire. So I'm going to take the big bead and put it on my ball head pin. And I'm going to take my pliers and go to the very tip of the pliers, bend at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers, put the round nose pliers in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me. I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part and pull it up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, take my bent chain nose pliers, my other pair of bent chain nose pliers, hold on really tight, get this first wrap good and tight, and just wrap until there's no more room to wrap. And I'll take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. Take my crimping pliers, tuck in the burr that's left where I cut off the wire. I'm going to take my piece of 22 gauge German style wire, go down about an inch and a half, bend at a 90-degree angle over the pliers, get my round nose pliers, crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, push this part back up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, rotate the pliers back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to open this loop and thread on my little dangle I made here. Close my loop back. Take my chain nose pliers, or bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, wrap this part around wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. Take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. These are bead caps from my stash. I'm going to put on a bead cap. My disco ball looking bead. And another bead cap. And now I'm going to, let's see how I did this on this other one. I'm going to take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers. I want to do it, I can't remember how I did that, so that it'll face the right way. I think I need to make it opposite the loop at the bottom there. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers, bend at a 90-degree angle, put the round nose pliers in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, hold on tight, take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, my other pair of bent chain nose pliers, Start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. My cutters, cut off my extra wire. My crimping pliers, squish in the little burrs that are left where I cut off my wire. I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up. Thread on my earring. Close up my ear wire. And there's my little earring. And it matches this little earring that I already had made here. So now I'm going to get my stuff together for my third pair. Hold on. Okay, now I've got this little charm here. This came from the Songs of Spring box. I'm not sure. I think that I had this bead in my stash. I'm not sure I don't think it's a Jesse James bead. It might be, but I don't know for sure. I got this little bead frame here. I've got a 4mm jump ring and my ear wire. So I'm going to take one of my pieces of my German style wire, go down about 1.5 inches, bend the wire over the pliers, take my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take the shorter piece up and under here till it hits the bottom of the tool, cock it back until the loop is centered over the wire, and take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, wrap it around about 3 times. I take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. I'm going to take put my bead in my bead frame. It'll go in there, I promise. I just took it out of there, so I know it'll go in there. It's giving me trouble. There it goes. Okay, now gotta line up the hole of my bead with the hole in my bead frame. Okay. That was not that hard the first time I did it. I'm going to straighten this loop down here up. It's not straight. I'm going to go to the tip of my pliers, Bend at a 90-degree angle. Around those wires, put them in the crook of the bend, around those wires facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part up and under till it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until it's centered over the bead. The loop is centered over the bead. My bent chain nose pliers. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers. Start to wrap. That first wrap good and tight. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. My crimping pliers and tuck in a little burr. I'm going to take my jump ring. Open it up. Thread on my little flower charm. A little link that I made here. Close. Well, close the jump ring back up. Be sure to get it closed up really well. These little 4mm jump rings just give me fits sometimes. Okay, I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up. Thread on my earring. Close it back up. Now I got a little earring. Matches this little earring that I already made. So now I'm going to get my stuff together to make my fourth pair. Hold on. Okay, I'm pretty sure all these beads came from the latest box. The Stories from the Sea, I think it was called. Got this little charm here. Got this clear rondelle bead. Got this small sort of frosted little round bead here. Got a couple of bead caps from my stash and one bead cap all by itself from my stash. Got a 4mm jump ring and a little tiny spacer bead from my stash and an ear wire. So I'm going to take the piece of my German style wire, go down about 1.5 inches, make a 90-degree angle over the tool, get my round nose pliers, put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the tool, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, bend this short piece back up in here under the tool till it hits the bottom of the tool, cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Take my bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop, bend the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Take my cutters and cut off the extra wire. I'm going to take this Now first I got to take my little tiny spacer bead, put it on here. And then this bead that I only had two, so I used one on each earring. And I had to put that little tiny spacer bead on there because the hole in this bead cap is pretty big and it was swallowing up my wraps down here. So I put that little spacer bead on there to keep it from doing that. Now I'm going to put my larger rondelle on here. Then I'm going to put one of my other bead caps facing up. And put my little bead on top of that. And then my other bead cap facing down like that. Now I'm going to take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend the wire over the pliers at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. My bent chain nose pliers, hold on to my loop. Hold on really tight. Take my other bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Get that first wrap really good and tight. And just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Get my crimping pliers and squish in my little burrs. Gotta be careful down here where this little spacer bead is, because if you squish him, he'll break. Now I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring, open it up, thread on my little charm, thread on my little link here, close my jump ring back, open my ear wire, thread on my earring, close my ear wire back. So now I got a little earring here. To match the little earring I already made here. So now I only have one more left. Hold on, I'll get it. Okay, now I got this little charm. I think it came in the Songs of Spring box too. And then I don't know about these others. They might have come in the Slice box. I've got this rondelle here. Kind of a champagne color, I guess. And then this other rondelle here. Sort of a beige color. And then a couple of bead caps that came in one of the boxes. I don't know which one. And a couple of bead caps from my stash. And an ear wire. And a piece of my German style wire. Go down about 1.5 inches. Bend the wire at a 90-degree angle. Round nose pliers. Round nose pliers in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Push the shorter piece of wire up and under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until it's centered over the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to open this loop and thread on my little flower. Close the loop back. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. And I'm going to take one of the bead caps that came in one of the boxes. I don't know which one. Put it on here. And put this rondelle on here. And then another bead cap. And then one of my bead caps facing up. And this rondelle. And one of my bead caps facing down. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to go to the tip of the pliers. Bend at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part up and under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. My bent chain nose pliers. My other pair of bent chain nose pliers. Start wrapping. Get that first wrap good and tight. Hold on to your loops. Slip out of your hand and get out of shape. And just keep wrapping until there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters, cut off the extra wire. Crimping pliers, tuck in my little burrs. I think my loops are not exactly straight like I want them to be. Need them to be opposite each other for this to hang right. They almost are, but not exactly. Now they are. I'm just going to take my ear wire and open it up. Thread on my ear ring. And close it up. So now I got a little earring here. Matches the little earring that I've already got made. So now I'm going to try to get them all together and I'll be back. Okay, here they all are. It's taken longer to figure out how to get these all together in one shot than it did to actually make the earrings. I'm using this little stand that I use to stand my cell phone up on to get them all to hang together in one picture. So here's 5 pairs of earrings made with mostly Jesse James beads. I know they're all Jesse James beads, except I'm not real sure about these 2 pink ones. They might have been from somewhere else. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook and Instagram and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.